Hey everybody, we are going to dive into workflow. Some of these tactics and strategies have been kind of touched upon, but my goal is going to be to walk you guys through it and give you guys a pathway that you guys can follow. So whether you already have a workflow, you can take some of these nuggets, kind of tweak what you're doing. If you don't even have a workflow, then you can literally just copy and paste this and follow it exactly to the T. So I call this the 15-step aligner workflow. This is a high-level kind of overview of the treatment. So taking an example of a new patient. New patient comes into the office, they would be getting a scan. And at that scan, it would be obviously the rest of the records are taken as well. Once the scan's taken, the hygienist reviews that scan with them and starts to have the conversation about how their oral health looks like, what's going on, what can be done, and providing some of those kind of high-level options for them. Then the doctor would review the scan, and if this patient qualifies for aligner therapy, then that's when they would confirm that and they would treatment plan it. And at this point, kind of similar to what Nicole was saying, like the team has already mentioned this. So you should never be the first person bringing up aligner therapy to your patients. It should always be done by a team member. After this, they have been treatment planned, patients in, they accept, if they move to the financial coordinator, they would pay for treatment or select their plan for how they're going to pay for it. And then that's when we would take photos. So I know the question comes up is like, oh, do we take photos and scans on every patient or when does that step happen? So photos are only taken if the patient is going to move forward with the treatment. The scan has to be done before, but the photos are always after the fact. So what we'll do is after the financial situation is sorted, one of the team members, usually the assistant, will just grab the patient, pop him into a free chair, snap the photos following just some of the protocols that we have, which I'll go over, and then they're free to go. So now you have all your records. Then you would review the treatment plan, make any modifications, kind of go back and forth with the tech on how you want that to play out. You would eventually accept it, and then the case is delivered to the office. So the schedule-wise, the patient would essentially be scheduled to come back 4 to 5 weeks after they have accepted that treatment plan and treatment begins. That gives you enough time to have any modifications that you need to make, as well as gives you delivery time for the case. Different brands have different lead times. Some are as little as 2 weeks, other as much as 4 to 5 weeks. So we always just book the patient about 4 to 5 weeks out, so that way you have enough time for the modification and for delivery. Then, once the case comes in, our process is the dentist would then just determine the number of checkups based off the prescription, right? If they need IPR, at a couple times, then you would just make sure that they're coming in at those appointments for the IPR. If they only need IPR in the beginning, well, then we just have that first appointment, and then we'll do a checkup midway, and then one final evaluation. We just pre-schedule those, so that way, when the time comes, the patient, it's easier to move an appointment in the future than it is to create an appointment, right? Because it's already on their calendar, you already have an idea. So if there was a tracking issue and they call and you determine, okay, we need to extend wear time, it's very easy to take the appointment that was scheduled on June 17th and just move it to July 1st. Because we've done it the other way where, we only bring them in and then we just schedule the next appointment, and then sometimes they cancel or they reschedule or something happens and the patient falls out of the pipeline, and you just want to make sure that you have these dates predetermined. So case is delivered, you're determining kind of what intervals you're having them come in, and then they come in for that initial delivery appointment. After that, like I was saying, the assistant schedules them out based on the predetermined dates that you have. And then you're going to have your ortho check appointments. Once those are done, they come in for the final evaluation, and then they're going down one of 2 lanes. At final eval, they're either cleared and you're moving to retainers, and that's where the next appointment would be, or they are going into refinement. And then so you would schedule them to come back for their refinement tray delivery appointment. And then after that, they would be coming in for either a check or it's just the final evaluation. And I say that because if your refinement is only 8 trays, you don't need to check them for 8 trays. You just bring them back for the final evaluation when they're done with the refinement. So if you're a dentist who wants to get confidence with aligners and you just don't know where to start, be sure to check out one of my free trainings. But if you want something that's more structured with some implementation resources and support, then you might be a good fit for our course, Aligner Blueprint. It has helped hundreds of dentists generate over $9 million in aligners alone, and they've all been able to do cases with confidence. The links for all those are in the description below, so you can go ahead and check that out or go to our website, clearalineradvisor.co, and that's where you'll find all this information. Did you guys have any questions about the workflow? Okay. So for the morning huddle, this is a really good, it's just a really good way. If you're not doing morning huddles in general right now, you should start. Every day it's super important to just be on the same page with the team, because we all know that there are several moving pieces in the office. There are patients coming in that need to be followed up with. There are opportunity that you can really kind of maximize and be able to have all the information together so all the teams are talking. It gives your back and your front an opportunity to have these discussions, and it limits a lot of the chaos in the middle of the day. There's always gonna be chaos, right? But this way, a morning huddle just kind of sets the playing field and gets everybody on the same page to move forward. So for aligners specifically, what we have is the treatment coordinator the day before. Part of their end of day duties is they prep the next day's schedule, right? They have to have time to do that. And what that allows is for them to help lead that meeting in the morning. And basically you can print out the schedule for the day and you just go through with each patient. Some patients are gonna have more information than others, but this way it allows for you guys to kind of comb through it together. And what we also do is, especially if you're in the phase where you are starting to implement scans, I know some of you guys are, this is where you would select which patients are being scanned, okay? And so the goal should be every new patient gets a scan, and every patient that is coming in for a recare exam where they're not getting x-rays gets a scan. And so timing for those appointments, new patients are usually 90, you're good. And then for those recare exams, 60 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you're doing, but basically, it's a lot to ask them in a 30 or 60 minute appointment to take x-rays, do the prophy, and scan. That's a lot, and that's where you can acknowledge that with your team. And so that's why we don't have them do that. But like we said yesterday, scans are part of the record-taking process, and so some type of record should be taken at each hygiene appointment. And so that's why we alternate them. And so when you're talking to your team, with scans, you just tell them, look, initially I just want you to have 2 scans per day. So whether you're doing the strategy of like bulk practicing where we block off time and you do it, that's totally fine. But when you're kind of rolling this out, just say you want to do 2 scans per day. That's it. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. And at the huddle, you guys can determine which patients. Now, a tip is you can pick the patients who also have ortho coverage, right? That does not mean that you're only scanning for potential ortho patients. It's just a way to kind of make the most of your time. Where in the beginning, if you're only scanning 2 patients, you might as well scan the ones who can be qualified for a treatment that is gonna be worth everybody's time. Because as we'll get into later about like incentives, bonuses, stuff like that, everybody is gonna kind of be more in that thought pattern. And so it's just a good way to do that. Again, if you don't even want to do that, you could pick any 2, but that is just some structure that we found was helpful to really make the most of the initiative to getting scans into the practice. And again, the long-term goal is it's for every patient, right? But you got to start somewhere. And what this helps is this helps build in some team buy-in, right? Because now you've got the treatment coordinator who's prepping the next day's schedule, seeing who has ortho coverage and essentially highlighting those patients so that way everybody knows. So now that treatment coordinator is bought in. Then at the morning huddle, the hygienist and the assistants are bought in because now they have patients that they know that they need to scan. And then you as the doctor are also kind of reviewing and seeing, okay, I know this patient, this is how they are, this is how we can really kind of, talk to them and whatnot. So everybody is throwing their hat in the ring. And this is how you can get everybody as an office to really move things forward. And that's what helps make it a lot easier versus if you're the only person talking about it and nobody else has a role, well, nobody else is going to care because they're just thinking like, okay, well, what's my job? Like, what's my role here? I don't really, cool, doc wants to do this, but like, I don't have anything to do. And so these are just like little small things that really go a long way because now they have a process. If the financial coordinator doesn't prep the next day's schedule, everyone's going to look at them in the huddle and be like, okay, well, where's the ortho coverage? And then the negative result is that if they don't pull the ortho coverage ahead of time, they're going to get interrupted in the middle of their day when people are saying, do they have ortho coverage? Do they have ortho coverage? And that's going to cause chaos. And so to limit all that chaos, there's some prep involved, and that's what helps push things forward. So if you're enjoying this video or found it helpful in any way, I'd really appreciate it if you could just share it with one of your dentist friends. Just copy the link, drop it in your favorite group chat, or post it in one of your favorite Facebook groups or communities, and just share it. That's it. My mission at the end of the day is to make aligner education accessible to as many dentists as possible. And so by sharing this video, you're gonna help me move closer to this goal, and I really appreciate your support. So the scanner workflow, basically a lot of this, right, we've talked about it, is education with the team, tying them to a bigger vision, a bigger goal. And so when you're talking to your staff about identifying treatment, tell them that you are actively trying to make a shift to more comprehensive and preventative dentistry, right? That is the overarching vision. You are trying to go in that direction. And by doing so, that is going to require some changes in the day-to-day. Because as dentists, as a team in your office, everybody can always improve, everybody can always level up, and this is one way that you're trying to do that. And you got to let them know that this is more than just watching and waiting for things to break, because a lot of the times we use that in our conversations with patients. We use that even kind of with our teams, like, oh, we'll just watch, we'll just wait on it. Well, you got to stop because, like it's been mentioned a couple times today, the longer you wait for certain things, the more expensive it's going to be to fix, right? The higher the chance it's going to break or get worse. And so when you are telling your team this, like, hey, if we start practicing more comprehensively and we start taking proactive action by screening our patients, by having these discussions, we will be able to not only help them get one step closer to being healthier, we're also going to be able to save them money, right? By doing the treatment that's necessary. And so let your team know that straight teeth and a balanced occlusion is the standard in our practice. And if our patient does not have straight teeth and a balanced occlusion, it is our job to help get them there. And when you say it like that, that doesn't say, I'm doing every single clear aligner case in this practice. That says, we care enough about our patients to where this is the standard, this is the threshold, and if they are below that, we are going to help them get there. And so that's either you or that's a referral. But what that means is the way that you do that is the conversation has to be happening with everybody. You cannot not talk to somebody about it for any of the reasons that they may even think, right? Because we all just said, everyone just shared, we prejudge, we think some patients may not be able to afford it, they may not care, insurance, all that. Imagine what your team thinks, right? The hygienists are prejudging patients, the assistants are prejudging patients, and none of them are even here, right? So it's your guys' job to also let them know. And you can tell them, like, call it out, like, look, I know sometimes we prejudge, I'm guilty of it, but this is how we need to start moving forward. And this is a comprehensive approach. And I think when you frame it like that, it's a lot easier to get the team on board versus, hey, Kate, you got to start scanning twice a day, and you got to do it in under 3 minutes, right? You're going to be like, no, I'm not. Like, that's not happening. But if I lead with this, and you can say this, right, at a morning huddle, Kate's going to get it. The team members are going to get it. They're going to understand, and then that's what's going to help them actually do the things, right? Because if this is the big vision, then there's steps to get there, and the first step is, yeah, we got to start scanning. And then you say, look, I want to make sure that everybody is comfortable with this, and so that's why I blocked off, time next week for this much time for all of us to practice, and then we're going to, continue whatever implementation game plan you want to do. And then you let them know the scanner, if they are a newer hygienist, they're going to be more open to technology. And I'm not like trying to discriminate, but that's just normally the mindset. Normally, hygienists, in my experience, who have been around longer, they like to just kind of do their thing and, you know, show some intraoral pictures and do all that, which is fine, but you got to let them know, like, the scanner is just a new and a better way to show patients like what is going on with their teeth, right? It's comprehensive. It's 2024, and this is something that you guys have and you've invested in, and it's a tool that should be used with patients. So if you found one nugget in this training and you found it valuable, you need to go watch this video that I made. We go deeper in these aligner concepts. I'll see you in there.